Welcome to Let's Talk Nigeria, the podcast where we unpack the stories, struggles, success shaping the hearts of Africa's giants. I'm your host, and each week we dive deep into issues that matter and the stories shaping Nigeria's politics, culture, entertainment, and everyday life. From the streets of Lagos to the hills of Jos, whether you're in Nigeria or part of the diaspora, this is your space to listen, learn, and be heard. Let's Talk Nigeria because the conversation starts with us.
Oh God of all creation, grant these our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
Welcome to the show, Akabak Peong. We are glad to have you on the show today. Please just give a brief statement about yourself, like where you're from, what you're doing, and so on.
All right, of course, Akpakpe. Thanks for the invites. I have to turn up for my bro. Currently, I'm a student, final year student, engineering student in the University of Lagos. Who is Let me save what I was about to say for the podcast. I won't begin to complain, but I will save one for the actual talk.
Okay. The fact that you're already agitated shows that you have a lot to talk about Nigeria. So let's dive right into it. So we are focusing on are Nigerians being lied to? Since the beginning of the APC-led party, we've seen different plays, different stories in the government, both the previous and the current government. And it's a question that has always been on the minds of pretty much Nigerians as a whole, that when politicians promise reforms but the citizens see little change, would you call that incompetence or you call that deliberate deception?
Largely both. I mean, incompetence. Absolutely. I mean, what are we talking about? Deliberate deception. That is flat out lies. Absolutely also. So it's not either or. It's both. Both of those things have compounded into the mess we are in today. And not just this Tinubu's administration. The past 8 years, what am I saying? 10 years, from 2015 till now, 10 is 11 years in this APC administration. PDP are not innocent also. But largely, this APC administration has been the beginning of all our, not the beginning of all our problems, but they should bear the brunt. They should bear the brunt.
Oh.
I don't know what's happening in this country. It's been, there are so many things to break down on so many levels.
Now we move on to the next question. Before we go on to looking at videos and hearing what people have been posting online, are Nigerians being misled about the true state of the economy? And is the government transparent on its constitutional duty?
Absolutely not. I would defer to the economists, to the bright minds when they break down the statistics and the numbers and so on. But as laymen, from a layman explanation, how can we say we've not been deceived? How can we say we've not been lied to? If we look at our energy independence, because that's where everything starts. Really, the backbone of every economic prosperous nation has to be your energy independence. And you look at Nigeria, who is meant to be quite literally an energy superpower. And the problem today we have with energy It's preposterous. The new president came in, said, "Look, I'm talking about President Tinubu now." He came in and said, "Look, we can't afford to spend the amount we are spending on our fuel subsidies." And everybody agreed this fuel subsidy had to go. A country like Nigeria, with this amount of resources in terms of oil and in terms of energy, had no business subsidizing energy to the level it was subsidizing energy. And so he said subsidy was gone. And of course, the price shot up to around 600 naira per liter of petrol. But then we came to see much later that we were lied to. The 600 naira per liter of petrol was still being subsidized to be kept at that level. So it should have been actually much higher than that. It came up when Dangote refinery was about to come up with its own price. And everybody was excited and happy. Oh, now we finally have local production. That's what we're talking about, the incompetence of the government. No serious government with the energy capability of Nigeria. You're exporting these products, these oil products, for revenue, but then you have to pay and then subsidize. You have to import it in foreign currency and then subsidize to Nigerians. No serious government does that. What does it take for a government to establish its own energy independence? We have oil, establish three refineries not working. And each time you hear, oh, so amount of billions has been pumped into this and that, and it's going to work. The time comes, they lie to us that it's working, and then we come to find out much later that said refineries are not functioning. So Dangote was coming up, everybody was happy. Oh, yes, it's currently at 626, but now that we have some local production, basic economics suggests to us that since we are going to be importing less, the price should come down. And then Dangote came up and his price was about 898. Or was it 900 or was it 1,000 everywhere? And everybody was saying, and then NNPC now came back to tell us that, oh, the 626 was being subsidized. Which subsidy? Who approved it? People said subsidy was gone. Who approved said subsidy? It makes no sense what's happening in energy in this country.
There is a recent report that I came across that shows that Tinubu has spent 7.1 trillion naira on this same subsidy here he removed.
That's very plausible. That's very plausible. I mean, with reports and statistics, we as educated people, we need to be somewhat careful of the sources we get information from.
Yeah.
But 7.6 trillion is very plausible. We've been lied to, we've been deceived, we've been bamboozled on so many levels by this government.
Okay.
That
now,
it just makes
we move to what is happening currently. Like I say, as at now, Nigeria is facing the toughest insecurity in its life since independence. So now we focus on if Nigerians are being lied to. I don't know if you've come across reports stating that the Minister of Defense has been ordered to move to Kebbi to bring back the girls which were rescued. Now, during that time frame, Nigerians discovered and dug through the Minister of Defense resume and discovered that he graduated in an honors in accounting. He never had any field in military services or never even became or did any security job. But yet, he was appointed as the Minister of Defense in this trying time that Nigeria needs its security. So now, in terms of Nigerians being lied to, when the officials claim insurgency has been defeated, yet attacks continue, do you think Nigerians are being told the truth or they are keeping everything on the low so that there is calm among the population?
We're absolutely not being told the truth. We're absolutely not being told the truth. What's happening in the north today is terrible. And not just the north. This has been going on for quite a while. Kidnapping. I mean, just killings, flat out killings without reason. People can't be safe in their homes. And as for the Minister of Defense and his resume, I personally believe that yes, his background should play an active role in his hiring. But if said person displays some ability, displays the knowledge, displays the passion for defense, there might not be anything intrinsically wrong with hiring said person. The question is, can this person deliver or not? And quite frankly, right now, the answer is no. The
Fact.
answer is a big no. What's happening is terrible, the likes of which we have never seen in this country. And what I would comment on is this. All these insurgency, terrorism itself, who are the sponsors? Who is really, who really benefits from terrorism? Because that's something I never understood.
I guess that is for the EFCC to find out, because you follow the money, you know the person.
It baffles me when I look and see people wanting to benefit. It's one thing to be corrupt and steal money and do this or that. But when you want to benefit from the killings of people by the blood of others, fathers, wives, sons, and daughters, it's this country. I don't want to say a ticking time bomb. We continue to pray for this country, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good. And then you look at our security agencies. Where is the intelligence? Where is the intel? Where is the military going to fish out these people? Where are the airstrikes? I don't know if you saw the report, that Boko Haram themselves now operate with drones. Which brings me back to the question. Who is really sponsoring these people? How do they get their money? Do Boko Haram do business and get profit and use it to finance terrorism in this country that we don't know about? How are they able to do these things? How are they able to carry out attacks? I saw a video the other day where Dino Melaye, an old video, Dino Melaye was speaking in Senate, and he was speaking passionately saying intelligence gathering in this country is dead. Events will happen, there will be signs that it will happen, and it will happen. Nobody to stop it, no remedy. I don't know, I came across that video some days ago on social media, and people there were commenting he spoke ahead of his time. He really did. And then now you're seeing memes of pastors carrying guns to churches and so on, and we're using it to laugh as a form of comedy. But really, it's not comedy. What kind of government cannot protect lives and property? It's not the responsibility of any government. That people can be safe in their homes.
I believe that
people can sleep with two eyes closed. It's I mean, brother, I don't know what's happening. Honestly.
How much trust can Nigerians place in official reports on kidnapping, banditries, and terrorism? What do you think? In cases like, okay, these are the 42 girls that were rescued in Kwara State, because that brought about light to this terrorism attack. And these girls were rescued without the government giving us reports or producing, as I would say, dead bodies. Because if you're on a rescue mission, you can't go there without going in gun blazing. It's not a walk in the park. There is no evidence of a dead body. There is no arrest. All we just know is the girls were rescued, or they ran away, or however, they have come out. Does that mean that the government is handling these terrorists with soft hands?
So the first question on trust: should the Nigerian people have trust in information given to us by the government right now? The answer is no.
Kidnapping and
should have little. We should have not just on kidnapping, on anything generally. We should have little to no trust on what we are being told until we see it ourselves. Honestly, in this case, seeing is believing. We should have currently no faith in what we are being told.
Then why is the government? Why do we still have the government in power if we should actually not believe them? Isn't that the whole point of having a government?
Well, that's up to the next election. That's up to the next election. This administration, the 4 years looks like it took some people it's really slow, but the time seems to be going really fast based on perspective. But that's really up to the next election. The next election will be very critical. I said in 2023 that was going to be the biggest election in the history of Nigeria. 2027 will be the biggest. This is a country-defining election. And really, the right candidate has to win that election. We need someone that really has the best interests of Nigerians at heart. I don't think we've had that for a long time. Because if you had the best interest of not just the president, I'm talking about elected officials generally. Not all of them, not most of them, but too many of them get in there and they really don't have the best interests of Nigerians at heart. So we need to get the right people. We just need to get the right people, honestly.
Okay, I'm going to play some videos now. We'll watch it together and then you share your thoughts on the video.
Look, you don't understand what I'm saying here. You have a sitting government sharing power with terrorists in his own country. Are you not getting it? Look, I had they release some girl they kidnapped in a school, and the president had to skip his official duties to interface with terrorists so that things will work. Did you hear what he said? That he could not go to South Africa because of this thing. What does that tell you? That means terrorists are keeping the president busy in his own country. Mr. Okoro, in his own country. What does that tell you?
Okay, now, Barrister, I'm happy that you brought us to this point. In 2013, 2011, 2012, or 2013, when bombs went.
So, I commend. I think his name is Barrister Darlington, if I'm not mistaken. I commend him because I watch a lot of his videos and he speaks the truth most of the time and is not afraid to push out his word on what is going on. And he said that terrorist is keeping the president busy. On my last guest on this show, I asked a question. Shettima during campaign came out stating that Tinubu will handle the economy of the country while Shettima will handle the security. And in recent months and weeks, we've seen the Vice President Shettima go on economic trips such as the G20, the UN, and others, while the President has stayed back in handling the security situation of the country. What do you have to say about that?
What I have to say about that is that's just preposterous. In this time, in our current times, nobody should be going anywhere. If I were the president, I would implement a travel ban on all government officials. No, nobody is going anywhere. We can't have people dying and then you enter planes and jets and run away that you're going for which summit? Going for economic summit. Which summit? What are you going for? Will you leave your home if there are problems at home? If your house is on fire, will you wear your suit and carry your bag that you're going to the office today, you're going to work today, without putting out the fire in your home first? This logic, I don't know. Why do we make simple things difficult? As for their sharing of responsibilities and so on, look, the president is the commander-in-chief, the chief security officer of the country. The vice president also has his own roles, but the buck should stop at the president. I don't think the president can say, oh, you handle security. Yes, he has the service chiefs and people he can delegate to. But at the end of the day, the buck stops with him, and he really should be held responsible as the chief security officer of the country for any insecurity in the country. And we've over the last days, over the last week, we've seen him meeting with his service chiefs. We've seen, I mean, some form of. I think it's over the last few days. I think I can admit that really President Tinubu has the best interests of Nigerians at heart. The question really is he going about things the right way? Is he taking the right steps? Is he going, is he using the right information, the right intel? If not, we should see changes, and we should see changes. I mean, these terrorists, this isn't ISIS or some form of big terrorist organization. These are just bandits, banditry, kidnappings, and so on. To flush out these people shouldn't be difficult. And it goes back to what we're talking about, trust. People were rescued. Where are the criminals that were arrested? Where are the reports that said such people are being tried in courts with the death sentence? You can't go on mass killings and then as a government, we're coming to negotiate with you and say, oh, we'll give you this amount of money or this amount of money. It makes no sense. So it's a tough situation for the president, first of all, but then for the service chiefs, most especially for the president.
But you know,
For the
of
unfortunate.
of recent, our former chief of army staff, chief of army staff, was giving a speech, and in the speech he said that if you see these terrorists or these bandits attacking your community where you stand, you are allowed to protect your community. You are allowed to show Nigerians that you are there to protect them. And immediately he was removed. Isn't that a sign of Nigerians being played again, saying, okay, this man has taken up the step to say shoot on sight, take out these people, and immediately the president took him out. Does that mean that he is one of the moles in the Nigerian military that the president needed to take him out to handle security?
That's one of the most is a big accusation. But look, I think I saw a report from the Senate earlier this week talking about trying to approve responsible gun owners in Nigeria. Now, that would be a big debate in the years to come of how people can go about protecting themselves. We can't turn, in my own personal opinion, I'm willing to be corrected. My own personal opinion is that Nigerian characters should not be allowed to have guns. This country will turn into a war zone. It will not be funny. I personally am not in support of that. Having citizens now being able to freely buy guns and buy weapons and buy ammunition in the name of protecting yourself. I think that's a decision we will really come to regret in the years to come. Now it seems like we don't have any other choice because people really do have to protect themselves. If you can't rely on the government to protect you, if you can't, and we simply can't rely on the government to protect you. If you can't rely on the government to protect you, we really have to protect ourselves. So for now, it makes sense to do that. But in the years to come, as Nigerians, as a Nigerian, I mean, no.
Okay.
We can't have this country turn into a war zone.
Speaking on that, I don't have the video here with me, but I don't know if you've come across the video of, I don't know if it's a senator that was showing the Senate President Godswill Akpabio a video of these bullets that fell off a truck while driving through, I can't remember the state. And the Senate President was in awe, was shocked, and asked if the driver of the truck was apprehended. Is that the measures of the Senate in these trying times? And in addition to that, I don't know if you've also seen the recent reports whereby the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria invited the senators to come dine with them this Friday. and the Senate president gave out the message to the senators, and in his statement he called these senators children. Does that mean that Nigeria is playing a executive over the legislative and the judiciary? Because last I checked, in a democracy, those three arms of government are equal. They balance each other out.
Nigeria has happened to me.
Calling each of them, calling one children and disregarding the other, isn't that telling Nigerians that we are in deep trouble, we are being lied to?
We're certainly in deep trouble. We're certainly in deep trouble. And going to our Senate, of course, these are when you get those collection of people with their own ideals, with their own opinions. First of all, senators are our lawmakers. These are the people that pass laws in our country. And it's okay for them to have disagreements. Not everybody is going to agree on one set topic.
That is why it's called democracy.
But the story is that, the question is that each of them were elected. Each of them, as long as everybody is working for the best interests of the masses, of the Nigerians, then we shouldn't have any problems. If Akpabio is calling people children, as long as himself and the people he's calling children, as senators, are coming with their own ideas to see how Nigeria can be a more prosperous nation, to see how people can sleep with their two eyes closed, then they can do it out. I think that's something that happens everywhere. It's just, the story is that I sincerely hope that all the parties involved in the Senate, in the House of Reps, really have the best interests of Nigerians at heart. That's all I can hope for, because it doesn't seem that way at this point.
Okay. Before I let you go now, you've seen the recent development whereby Tinubu gave an order to the IG of police, the IG, stating that he should withdraw every police officer from VIPs, meaning senators and other very important people. And also in this, he stated that there's a security emergency happening in the country right now, and that the police and military should recruit over 10,000 people. Is this saying, or is this a statement showing that the number of our armed forces, or the number that is dead in the military, is so low that the government is now looking to recruit new candidates? And does this mean that it's a sign to target more Nigerians, or is it a tactic to target more Nigerians?
Without a question, the police, the military, we are severely under-policed generally in the country. I think the world standard ratio is 1:5. So for every 5 civilians, there should be 1 policeman or 1 member of the armed forces. With that ratio, I don't have the accurate numbers with me, but with that ratio, we certainly are under-policed in this country. It's just that simple. And if you're the president, declaring a security emergency is the right thing to do. And then recruiting 10,000 seems really like a small number. It's the right thing to do. But again, how can you incentivize Nigerians and civilians, and how do you provide the right training? I mean, the right salaries of our policemen, of our armed forces, that they are paid well enough to be independent, paid well enough, and say, look, nobody needs to, yes, everything starts from integrity, people of integrity. But the government should play a role and say, look, our policemen need to be well paid, they need to have their homes, our military, in terms of insurance, their families need to be well taken care of in the event that they pass on in the heat of battle, and create all these incentives for people to work harder, to attract people to come and join the armed forces. I don't think it's a question that we're under-policed in this country. We severely are under-policed in this country. And if the president really wants to go ahead and recruit tens of thousands of people in the police and in the military, I think that's something to be applauded. But then sustenance, bribery and corruption, can you increase their salaries? Can you make it so that they are independent? Like last year, or was it 2 years ago now, where we saw that the president had to give a directive to the minister of the FCT that, look, our judges need to have their homes. Our judges need to be well paid, where they can stand on their own and say, look, this is my decision. They cannot be influenced or politically manipulated. That kind of idea should apply to all our government officials. Our policemen should be in a position where you can say, yes, you cannot bribe me, you cannot politically manipulate me. You can't sway me from doing the right thing simply because you have this amount of money to take and bribe me and so on. So the president recruiting armed forces should be applauded, and then deploy these forces to the insecure parts of the nation, and let law and order be restored in the country.
I like nice words. I like what you shared. Now, so I do appreciate having you on the show. It's been a fun experience talking and understanding your own perspective on Nigerians being lied to. I do hope to see you more on the show as we discuss Nigeria. God bless you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribes and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all are proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace, oh, bow to honor it, and this we count as gain. To hand unto our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant these our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed.